This video will break down the conceptual offense of the only remaining undefeated team left in college basketball, Miami, Ohio. They like to run 5 out, and in this instance, an empty side screen is the trigger to get into their action. As Suter gets baseline, it is the opposite wing's responsibility to 45-degree cut to the basket, perfect pass, perfect layup. And something that you'll see throughout this film breakdown is how much Miami loves to get baseline. As this player gets baseline, we're going to see the 45-degree cut happen, and now they're placing this help defender in a tough spot. He has to choose between 2 players, and the power of a baseline drive is that it turns this help defender's back, and he cannot react in time to the 45-degree cut. And to play conceptually, you have to have high IQ players because they have to read and react to what the defense is doing. In this instance, the 45-degree cut realizes that nobody's with him, so he sits in the paint for an easy 2. In fact, in this next example, they double. There's a 4-on-3 advantage. This 45-degree cut happens because of this advantage. And again, he sits because nobody went with him. And if you want to play in this offense, you have to understand spacing. In this instance, they guard the 45-degree cut. Byers recognizes this and drifts over to replace his cut. In this next example, there's going to be a baseline Nash dribble, which just means the point guard's going to dribble through the baseline. As the 45-degree cut happens, he occupies his defender, while all 3 defenders are watching this Nash dribble. There's a wide open 5-man as a result. This next example, what would usually happen is a 45-degree cut. However, this player recognizes that the dribble is coming back middle, and he doesn't cut to avoid messing up the spacing. And this next play is probably my favorite I have seen all year long. It's going to be a zoom dribble handoff, and all 5 players are going to be in motion. The point guard getting the handoff, the roll man to the basket. They actually vacate this other corner man to the opposite corner, which brings this corner man up, all while this offensive player is drifting out to avoid his man helping on the dribble drive. As we speed it up, this constant motion creates so much pressure on the defense to communicate correctly. But they don't. They send 2 to the same player, wide open corner man, and he passes up an open shot for a wide open shot. And one really important aspect of conceptual offense is that you can still run set plays when it gets to crunch time. In this instance, they're trying to get Woolfolk a wide open layup. UMass has been playing a 3-2 zone. What Coach Steele drew out of the timeout is that they're going to get Suter going to the baseline. So they're going to set a screen up here as we press play. He's going to get baseline. And now these 2 offensive players are going to target these 2 defenders in the zone to get Woolfolk a wide open layup. In this next example, they like to run a pick and roll with the veer variation sometimes, and Woolfolk's going to set the screen, and as he rolls, he's going to target Byers' man for a wide open 3. To be honest, he does move on this screen. Refs don't call it. Wide open 3. This next example, it's going to be a stagger screen, but they're going to bring their good shooter Skowjak as the second screener. As he screens, he's going to ghost it. He's going to twirl out. And as he twirls out, Woolfolk is going to step over for somewhat of a flare screen on his roll. And when I watch the film, it's no fluke that Miami is the only remaining undefeated team in college basketball.
The Hoops Professor.